Kia has 10 electrified utility vehicles to choose from. Whether you're ready to take a Kia Sportage Turbo Hybrid on a road trip, a professional looking to navigate traffic in an EV9, or someone who wants electric for every day and fuel for far away with a Sorento plug-in hybrid, Kia has something for you. Find out more at your local Kia showroom today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. The 2025 Sorento PHEV has an EPA estimated all-electric range of 31 miles on a full battery charge. Actual range will vary.
Now, I am a Steelers fan, and eventually I might root for Aaron Rodgers. But sources told me his alternative medicines were lost in the mail this week, and the 41-year-old Mensa man has been wandering around practices muttering conspiracy theories about JFK, 9/11, COVID, the Epstein files, and the Lindbergh baby kidnapping. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. I am Norman Chad. Coming up on the program today, we have gone from Sports Nation to Gambling Nation. We have gone from good Spike Lee movies to bad Spike Lee movies, and we have gone from dead people voting to dead dogs voting. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos, picked fresh directly off of Central California trees every morning, delivered directly to your local retailer every afternoon. And by the refreshing taste of Fresca. Fritos and Fresca, it's a meal. I think it's safe to say that we've pretty much normalized gambling more than ever in American life. I went to my church the other day to confess. They had installed a slot machine in the confessional booth. I hit the jackpot on my first pull, said screw it with these confessions, and instead went to a strip club to celebrate. Yeah! Okay, that story is somewhat apocryphal. You don't know what apocryphal means? Google it, you dingleberries! But now I have your attention, and the latest gambling turn of events got my attention. Last weekend, after beating Kentucky 30-23, Mississippi football coach Lane Kiffin apologized to gamblers on national TV. That's where we're at, folks. You either take it or leave it. Or I should say, take the points. So, Ole Miss was beating Kentucky 30-20 late in the game. Kentucky moved down the field and kicked a field goal with 8 seconds remaining. Final score, Mississippi 30, Kentucky 23. In his post-game interview with ESPN's Molly McGrath, Kiffin said, "That's a really hard team that plays really close games, so I'm proud of our guys. Sorry to a lot of gamblers there at the end." What was he talking about? Ole Miss was favored by 7.5 points. That late Kentucky field goal took the final margin from 10 to 7 points. Also, the over-under for the game was 51.5 points. That last field goal took the total points from 50 to 53. So all of the money, good and bad, changed hands or sides with 8 seconds to go because of that Kentucky field goal, and Lane Kiffin acknowledged it. Then right after the interview, ESPN play-by-play broadcaster Sean McDonough explained to viewers, quote, "Lane hit the nail on the head. Gambling is a part of it now, so we might as well acknowledge the field goal, change the spread," end quote. And McDonough went on and explained all the numbers just as I did. This is quite a sea change. Maybe we've reached the point where instead of interviewing the winning coach or the star player after the game, ESPN will go live to Circa Sportsbook in Las Vegas and talk to the sports bettor who profited the most that day. Yeah, I'm here with Lucky Luciano. Oh, I guess I should use your name, I guess. How big of a score did you make today, Lucky? When I used to write a newspaper column, I would always refer to Sports Nation to characterize the America around me. These days, my friends, it is more of Gambling Nation. Speaking of over-unders, I recommended one Major League Baseball season win total bet to my Gambling Mad family earlier this year, and it looks like it's going to come down to the wire. I took the Cleveland Guardians over 82.5 victories. As I record this, the Guardians are 74-71. They're pretty much got to go one game over 500 the rest of the year to hit my number. So it's touch and go like most of my life. By the way, I wish it were touch and go for the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles, my two childhood teams that I still root for, but they're just touch and gone. You want to know what it's like over the past generation or two to be a Pirates fan or an Orioles fan? They have two of the longest droughts of not making the World Series. 45 seasons for the Pirates, 42 seasons for the Orioles, 41 seasons for the Orioles. It's about to become 46 and 42 for those clubs. In fact, the last time the Pirates made the World Series in 1979, they played the Orioles. Now that was a good year for me. It's been pretty much downhill all since. But hey, I still got the beach and the babe and blue. The babe is Tony, my current wife. Well, my current wife, as of 4:02 Pacific time this afternoon. Time for our NFL picks. All right, slow start to the season. Well, it was week 1, 2 and 3. No big deal. You have a lot of 2 and 3 weeks during the course of an NFL season, but I'm putting the blame on myself. I made some bad picks, and it's because I didn't work hard enough, okay? I wasn't up first thing in the morning watching game film. I wasn't calling around the league to get the injury reports. No, I was just, making my way around town, kissing babies, shaking hands, being Norman Chad. Well, that's not good enough. You can't mail it in. You got to work harder. Now, I did make one really good pick last week. I told you that the score of the Vikings-Bears game was going to be Vikings 23.5, Bears 19. The final score was Vikings 27, Bears 24. Now, that's pretty good. But I put in the work on that one. I did a simulation of that game on my electric football set. That's 3.5 hours of watching those little guys go around to come up with that final score. So I put in the work. I put in more work this week. Let's get to the picks. 49ers at Saints. If you're watching this one, you are either a 49ers fan or a Saints fan, or you're doing time upstate, and that's the only game they have on the prison TV. The quarterback matchup, Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler. Jones is starting because Brock Purdy is hurt. The Saints' backup, let me remind you, is Tyler, Shough. The 49ers have a new kicker. I don't trust new kickers. I don't like new kickers. If you like punting, this might be your jam. I'm going to take the wretched Saints plus 3.5 points. Seahawks at Steelers. Somehow, the Seahawks were 7-1 on the road last season. Who knew? Somehow, Sam Darnold is now the Seahawks quarterback. Who knew? Sam, read my lips, no turnovers. No turnovers. No turnovers. Capiche? Now, I am a Steelers fan, and eventually I might root for Aaron Rodgers, but sources told me his alternative medicines were lost in the mail this week, and the 41-year-old Mensa man has been wandering around practices muttering conspiracy theories about JFK, 9/11, COVID, the Epstein files, and the Lindbergh baby kidnapping. I am going to take the Seahawks as the underdog, the Seahawks, and 3.5 points. Time for the calendar game of the week. Woo-hoo! The calendar game of the week, now available in 4 languages. Just hit the SAP button on the thing in front of you. Browns at Ravens. I am not a big fan of John Harbaugh. He complains about everything. He would throw a challenge flag at a school crossing guard. He never seems to believe that he lost a game legitimately. It's always the officials. But let's take a moment out to appreciate him in his 18th year with the Baltimore Ravens. Only 2 losing seasons, 10 wins or more 11 times, a 621 winning percentage in the regular season. Now, the Browns usually play the Ravens tough, but I believe the Ravens are fighting mad about blowing that game to the Bills last week, and they will intercept former teammate Joe Flacco 2 or 3 times. Oh, yeah, Joe Flacco. Hey, Joe, happy 57th birthday, buddy. All right, I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm laying a big number in this one. The Ravens as an 11.5-point favorite.
Clear the air with Kia.
San Francisco driving is wild. Steep hills, tight streets, and traffic that's slower than the fog. But my Kia Hybrid loves it. All those hills help charge the battery. I went from the marina to Bernal Heights, detoured to Oakland, then drove the coast to Half Moon Bay. Still haven't filled up.
Kia hybrids like the Niro and Sportage Hybrid go further on a single tank. No chargers, no stress. And with regenerative braking tech that turns stop and go into smart efficiency, you'll drive more and fill up less. Find your balance at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Eagles at Chiefs. Let me just emphasize first, I'm stubborn and I'm stupid. I think the U.S. Postal Service is going to rebound. It won't. I think horse racing is going to rebound. It won't. I think Amtrak is going to rebound. It won't. I picked the Chiefs in the last Super Bowl against the Eagles, and I'm going to pick the Chiefs again in this one. The smart money out there says the Chiefs are all but done, that the dynasty is done, that they are on a rapid decline. Boulder Dash! Fiddlesticks! Kansas City has won 13 straight home games. Of course, none of them against Philadelphia, and they haven't played any this year. And I know that the Chiefs are struggling at wide receiver. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes will make those scrubs look good. That's what he does. The Eagles are certainly the better team. I don't care. I am stupid, and I am stubborn. I am stupid, stubborn, and stupid. I'll take the Chiefs getting 1.5 points. Time for D-Gen's Gonna D-Gen. A Costa Mesa, California woman registered her dog to vote, and the dog cast mail-in ballots in 2 elections. The woman is 62-year-old Laura Lee Urex. The dog is the late Maya Jean. The dog voted in the 2021 recall election of Governor Gavin Newsom and in the 2022 primary. The first ballot counted. The second one ended up being rejected. Urex self-reported the fraudulent voting. In fact, she posted photos to social media. One in January 2022 with her dog wearing an I voted sticker, and the other in October 2024 showing Maya Jean's dog tags and a vote by mail ballot with the caption, Maya is still getting her ballot even after the dog had died. Orange County has announced criminal charges against Urex. What do we know about this dog? Very little. We don't know her breed. We don't know whether she was registered Democrat or Republican. We don't know if she could play poker. Oh, yeah, dogs can play poker. I'm sure most of you have seen the paintings. Blue sometimes doesn't come home from Hollywood Park Casino until 3 or 4 in the morning, or as she likes to say, I keep playing until the bacon's on the table. I like that. Blue helps with the rent. On the other hand, Tony doesn't. But then Tony cooks that bacon up so good, so it all works out. The fight nobody or everybody wanted is coming into your homes in spring 2026. Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather. What is this? 2002? Tyson against Mayweather. They're calling the fight an exhibition. On exhibit will be 59-year-old Tyson and 48-year-old Mayweather. These are the 2 highest-earning boxers of all time, though Tyson filed for bankruptcy in 2003. Why are they fighting? Why do people keep asking me a question like that? Money! Money! Well, They're going to fight for more than $60. But that is the question. Don't ask that. That's the answer. Don't ask me that question ever again. Okay? Tyson, you may recall, fought 27-year-old fake and hype man Jake Paul last November. Tyson earned $20 million. Paul earned $40 million. It got 65 million concurrent viewers on Netflix. I was not one of them, making it the most streamed sporting event ever at the time. And for those of you keeping score, Paul won a unanimous decision. By the way, I also will not watch this fight unless someone pays me to do so. Yeah, I can be bought. Everyone's got a price. My price to watch this fight would be $250,000 plus a case of Fresca delivered to my doorstep once a month for life. It's the refreshing taste of Fresca. Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal! Like most stupid Americans, I have 31 streaming services now. Let me tell you what I've known from day one, and I actually told you all, go back and look at the tapes. I told you all this on Gambling Mad a while back. You cut the cable cord to save money, going a la carte with like YouTube TV and some streaming services. Guess what? You end up spending even more money than before. How stupid do we look? We're pretty darn stupid. They take advantage of us. One of my streaming services is Apple Plus TV. Sometimes I refer to it as Apple Minus TV, which is what it felt like the other night as I watched Spike Lee's latest, Highest to Lowest. Don't get me wrong, Spike Lee is a fabulous filmmaker, but man, oh man, even his best movies are always too long. They're slow to start, and every time you think they're about to wrap up, there's more. Highest to Lowest stars Denzel Washington, and you'll never hear me say a bad word about Denzel unless he starts sitting next to Spike Lee at New York Knicks games. Highest to Lowest is a remake of the Akira Kurosawa 1963 film High and Low. High and Low, I'm sure most of you didn't see it. It was in black and white. It's a long time ago. It was pretty good. Which reminds me of an argument I once heard made by actor Frank Whaley. He said, why remake great work? He said it makes more sense to remake a bad work. Take a story that they didn't execute too well and redo it, improve it. Plus, I don't understand how Hollywood, I don't get this whole movies, remaking old movies business in the first place. How is Hollywood allowed to do this? This isn't permitted in other forms of fiction. Hey, let's take Tennessee Williams' Glass Menagerie and touch it up a bit. Hey, let's take Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby and rewrite it some. We'll make it The Greater Gatsby. You can't just take someone else's work, change a few words here and there, and say, look, I wrote a book. Then again, to be honest with you, I have been thinking of rewriting the Bible.
Clear the air with Kia.
San Francisco driving is wild. Steep hills, tight streets, and traffic that's slower than the fog. But my Kia Hybrid loves it. All those hills help charge the battery. I went from the Marina to Bernal Heights, detoured to Oakland, then drove the coast to Half Moon Bay. Still haven't filled up.
Kia hybrids like the Niro and Sportage hybrid go further on a single tank. No chargers, no stress. And with regenerative braking tech that turns stop and go into smart efficiency, you'll drive more and fill up less. Find your balance at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. I will jump out of a plane without a parachute before I'll hail a cab that's a driverless car. Waymo schmamo. Now, granted, I have no idea how a jet gets off the ground and into the air, so I'm not going to trust an automobile that's navigating the road with sensors and data processing. Not to mention, there are gangs of teenagers in certain cities right now who get a kick out of attacking driverless cars. So imagine your terror sitting in the backseat alone of a Waymo at a stoplight, and all of a sudden 5 punks are jumping on the hood, jumping on the roof, jumping on the trunk. And forget that. Do you have any idea what it's like to get honked at by a driverless car. What the I mean, it happened to me the other day, and there was nobody I could glare at. There was no chance to flip anybody off. And trust me, folks, okay, Florida Waymo drivers are the worst. Anyway, I am done getting into those driverless thingamajigs, and I'm done battling them on the road. My solution, no surprise, I'm taking the bus. That'll do it for another edition of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you again next time. And remember, if you're going to roll the dice, make sure they're loaded. Blue and I often go to the vet. She doesn't mind it too much. But I've been reading that the vets aren't really happy with many of their customers. They don't like it if we're rude or inconsiderate to the staff, or if the dog's leash is too long, or if we blame them when our pet's health is suffering, or if we balk at some of their medical counsel. Well, we have complaints too. The biggest one is pretty simple: cost. You ever wonder why every veterinarian drives a Mercedes? If you're going to rob us, at least say, this is a stick-up. What a racket. If Blue's got an ear infection, they want to x-ray her hind leg. The meds they prescribe are so expensive, I pop some of the extra pills and hope they help me. Blue once barked in the waiting area and there was a $20 surcharge. We switched vets because the old one had a resort fee. The new one has a tip jar when you're paying your bill. Sure, I'll give them a tip. Stop robbing us blind. Stop treating us like we're your personal ATM. And the next time you reach into my pockets, you better be giving me a hand job or I will go gambling mad.
Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad is written by Norm and Chad and ghost-written by Norm and Chad. Executive producers are John Scheinberg and Rick Barrio-Dill. Produced by Norm and Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Our associate producers are Bree Khoury and Asher Friedberg, and edited by Asher Friedberg with studio facilities at 360 Pod Studios, Beverly Hills.
Clear the air with Kia.
San Francisco driving is wild. Steep hills, tight streets, and traffic that's slower than the fog. But my Kia Hybrid loves it. All those hills help charge the battery. I went from the Marina to Bernal Heights, detoured to Oakland, then drove the coast to Half Moon Bay. Still haven't filled up.
Kia hybrids like the Niro and Sportage Hybrid go further on a single tank. No chargers, no stress. And with regenerative braking tech that turns stop and go into smart efficiency, you'll drive more and fill up less. Find your balance at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.